Fast forward to one day when Plops was late for a site-wide meeting. He entered the room to be met with 2 or 3 voices chastising him with comments such as, "What time do you call this, Plops?" and "Good grief, it's Plops o'clock." Turning a now familiar shade of crimson, he opened his mouth but then noticed the director of operations, Dops, stood at the front, having paused his speech. Plops shut his mouth and quickly found a seat. The director continued for a bit before pausing to ask if anybody had any questions. Plop's hand immediately shot up. "Apologies for being late, but I had a question about the half-year business projections given the ramp-up in production. Was this already covered, or is this a good time to ask the question?" This question had absolutely nothing to do with anything we did, and it was painfully obvious Plops was just asking the question to seem even more pretentious than he normally was. The director replied, "Not a problem, Plops, maybe save that one for the end." This was too much for everybody else, who burst out laughing. The director didn't know who Plops was and had assumed that was his name. The director innocently asked, "Oh, is that not his name?" That's so sweet. Someone explained it was a nickname. He was called John. The director apologized, and Plops, presumably trying to hide his embarrassment, said, "Don't worry, it wasn't an important question." After the meeting, Plops excused himself, and we didn't see him for the rest of the day. He was back in the following day with an even more sour face than normal. We were all still giddy about how the director had called him Plops, so we just gave him a wide berth. A few days later, when the atmosphere had calmed down, Plops announced at a meeting that he accepted a similar role at another site and will be transferring in the next week. We then found out that Plops had complained yet again about a director, no less, to the chief, who had now got fed up of having to baby the kid, and had had a quiet word with the director. Said director, presumably wanting to save face a little, advised that another production lead at a different facility was going on maternity leave, so Plops could be parachuted into that role fairly easily. They then had the best part of a year to find somewhere else for him. We weren't sad to see Plops go, but he forgot to bring in cakes on his last day. So one of the guys who'd worked with some of the staff in the new facility made a phone call.